Hi everyone, I'm Veronica Bartolini with Codebreaker Real Talk, and I have my co-host Chad Cooper, and we have Tom Althouse today for I think our 19th or 20th interview. I'm excited to have Tom again on the show. Thank you, Tom, for being here. I
Sure.
like your shirt.
Yeah, that's my class. I'm all about the blue pill, the real pill. So yeah,
Yay.
there you go.
And
Mm.
then Chad is like, coordinating with my color here, and then I'm coordinating with your blue here, so that's awesome.
Yeah, there it is. We're gonna be colorful, which is
Yeah.
good.
So
Celebrate color.
tomorrow,
Been traveling all around, so everything for me is limited. Wardrobe, lighting, plug-ins. I'm working from my phone here.
You're like the
I'm in
archaeologist.
Oregon now, Tom.
You're like that.
I'm on the coast of Oregon right now, so
Oh,
enjoying
okay.
some of this, loveliness out here, right
You
out
remind
on a
me.
peninsula by the ocean. So it's pretty cool.
You remind me like a guy out on the, working the discovery fields, like an archaeologist or.
Yeah, it does have that feel, and I didn't have a choice.
No,
I
it's good.
said,
It's
"There's my
fun.
brown shirt, and there's my brown."
Yeah, it's the foreign correspondent look. I love it. You
Thank
know.
you.
so
Yeah.
today is 9/11, and I was thinking about where I was on 9/11 back in the day, and just being grateful that we're still here, right? And I chose today because tomorrow Tom is going to have a special show, I think, with Rosanne Barr, correct?
That's
And
right.
that's why I wanted you, Tom, here to just tell the audience, like, what is it about? What pretty much where they can find you, what you're going to talk about, and
Yeah, sure. Okay. So there's going to be a she has her own website too, where it has the Roseanne Barr Show website, and you can see on there she plays audio things like 2 a.m. later tonight or 2 a.m. You're going to hear the audio portion if anybody wants to. Then at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern will be the full show, video show, everything on Rumble and some other platforms too, which is really cool. And she just had, if I'm not mistaken, Tucker on, which is really cool. And some other main guys. It was really, really fun. And I was looking her up, other shows she did. There's one with Trump and this top correspondent and things like this. It's just really amazing. Her clientele that she works with across the board was really cool. And I totally had that experience where I saw a very genuine, full of life person who just doesn't give up. And I certainly admire that courage, like you guys have. Just totally admire that. Felt very much a kinship. So, yeah, yeah.
thank you. And how did the meeting go with her the last time we spoke off camera and you were excited to meet her? And how did that go if you want to talk
Oh,
about it?
fantastic. I met their beautiful family. Jake, her son, does the show with her, and it's just her daughter-in-law Hannah is brilliant. Jake's amazing too, and the two granddaughters I met, the one just was born, and I think that's Roseanne Barr is there for the grandchild too, and doing it from her home studios there at Jake's place, and the other daughter is I think 3 years old and just super smart, like looks right through you, looks right through you. She's like got that look on her face that she's always like measuring you, getting the measure of you. It's like I just love that. I hope that's what's happening to our world, is that women are coming in where they're just able to just look right through men, and this game will stop of male chauvinism. It's like I just hope that they're coming equipped. So yeah.
Exactly. So we tried going live, and I told myself I wasn't going to tell anybody that you were going to be on the show, but I did tell the people, and then they stopped our live feed here on the phone. So
Yeah. I was crazy trying to get on this air today. It was just like everything was not going through. I couldn't send things to my email. All of a sudden, all the systems were shutting down.
yeah, I
So
noticed a few days ago that there was some new people, some people covered up, men covered up all the way up to, past their nose up here, dark glasses. They were like in a, they had two yellow vests, but their work truck didn't say anything. And I
right.
told, well, I asked, I heard like they were like speaking like Portuguese, like, or French. And I said, hi, what are you putting up here? And they're like, is it for the telehealth? I thought, and they're like, no, internet. But what are you actually putting up? And he said fiber optics. And but today there was three vehicles, okay, like, so we'll just say a week later, three vehicles of Century Link, but there was nobody was in the vehicles. So
Right.
something's going on.
It's amazing what you'll see. When I was in California, um, with a correspondent out there, had invited me out to stay and work on stuff there. And when I was there in California, we had a white, like, look like a FEMA van pulled up, a white van, and it was like, she's like, what is that person doing there? They were blocking a neighbor's driveway, and the back was facing us. And the guy that got out of this white van, unmarked van, had a military uniform on. You know, like it looked like an Air Force pilot or something. And he goes back, and there's wires everywhere all over the place. And it's like, and you know me, I go up taking pictures of it. You know, so I wanted to have it on record. So I still have those pictures of it when I went around it taking pictures. You know, I can do that. So yeah.
I've
Yeah.
also seen Chad was telling me that when he was driving up to Oregon. Go ahead, Chad, tell me what you saw. That white light thing.
Yeah, I did see a white light, but I think it was an illusion. I can't explain it. I don't know. At one point, it went above my car, but at another point, I think it was the planet, and it was the way the horizon and the canyon was playing with me. I can't explain how it looked like it went over the car. I had to call Veronica though right afterwards just to say like, hopefully I make it, because I'm not in the desolate area yet of Oregon. I'm around good company. You know, there's a truck behind me and then ahead of me, but pretty soon I'm not going to be. But I can't explain it. I don't know, but I don't think it was an experience, Veronica. I think it was an illusion or something of the light going over my
Because the
head.
next
So it's hard to
day,
say.
yeah,
I can't explain it. I thought it was a drone at first, and then it was, and I couldn't figure it out. But nothing happened after that, from what I can tell. So I'm just gonna leave it as.
here by the ranch, I live by several ranches, and I saw
Mhm.
that they call it Starlink or whatever. It was the ball, and then it looked like a net, like if you're playing
Yeah.
badminton, and it went straight through here. It went around the apartment. It went like towards south of the what I call the fake moon.
Yeah.
But yesterday I did, was it yesterday, Chad? I called Chad yesterday or the day before because I did see it was a silver airplane, and
Mhm.
all the airplane was white, and it just kept going down and down and down the horizon, and it was just too big to be a drone. So that's the discussion we've been having.
Oh yeah.
Anything new happening with are you gonna put out a movie picture? What's gonna be new here?
Well,
What's
what we're looking to do is actually, again, make the film the way it was originally written. That's what the other side doesn't want. So we're doing what the other side doesn't want. And
Okay, so Tom, does
yeah.
that mean you're gonna make a sequel to it that's gonna fix everything, or you're gonna make the film
The original copyrighted film, and
the
then we'll
original?
do part two. Then you do the part two where it was going to naturally evolve, because they've been trying to steal it and go like, here's 2, 3, 4. Now they want to back it up and go, here's 5 doing over to 2. And it's like, no, we're just going to show it, and then we'll show you what it was meant to be as it evolved. It's like they're fumbling it so badly. You can't do a do-over. So it's just like that just shows theft completely off the charts. But this Roseanne Barr show will really help because it'll, like she said, it'll give a lot of legitimacy where people will be able to really zone in, because her son is like putting in the content with the clips and everything else and the evidence. And he's really sharp on what evidence he wants in. And it's going to definitely make it clear and palatable for people to understand. So yeah, it's funny. I actually contacted my high school, let them know what was going on, because Central West is DO's school. So it was like I contacted, and the principal responded just before I got on the air here. The principal responded, warm wishes, that kind of thing. When I called the office staff, they were like, you can expect what's going to happen at first. It'll be like, what? And then you're like, well, it's the Roseanne Barr show. We'll be doing this, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh my God, what? And then they're talking to each other and everything, getting excited. And then they're like, you got to go talk to the principal, talk to the principal. It was funny. I went to the commissioner's office today on business, and it was like, next thing I know, the secretaries are bringing out the county judge, all this other stuff to come out and meet me and talk to me because of that. So it's interesting. Our court systems may not respond to petitioning so much, but they'll respond to what they consider success in the entertainment field. And that's what's so wild. It's like, that's what attorneys told me in Hollywood. Success in the entertainment business opens the door to legal minds listening to what you have to say, legal authorities. Isn't that crazy?
that is backward.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said like everybody wants to be part of the entertainment community, as successful. And so it's like that got proven today. I was like, wow. Suddenly they're calling officials to come out and meet you. You've got all the clout because you're on a certain show. Yeah. It's wild. I'm not going to knock it because whatever gets the, truth heard and gets the, what needs to be done to get people to listen to make this right in our world, our processes and stuff, and have real due process guaranteed, we can fix the system this way. So isn't that wild though?
Yeah. So
Yeah, you can see it.
congratulations. So for the new script that you're gonna write, are you gonna be like asking actors to be involved, or you're just gonna well, I know you have it written already, right?
Well, yeah, it already fell together beautifully, and Roseanne Barr is really interested in it too. I actually described, like, showed her, so I talked to her about the stuff, about in it and everything, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're making this," So it was really cool. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm very excited about it. Much better than the disaster and mess they made of my work, the Wachowskis made of it, and now that Warner Bros. Is admitting that. So, and I'm not ready to meet the new stooge that's coming on to direct to steal it again. Just,
Oh
just
man, you
people,
haven't
yeah.
met the person yet?
No, he's from Texas. So the guy that Warner Bros. Is selecting to steal again as a do-over, I am not happy with that. That's not good. It's like they just will cheat, and now they're bringing somebody else to claim it. So what happened to the Wachowskis created it? So now it's going to be somebody else coming in to create the stolen work
So
and calling.
I get you. How is that, Tom? How are you going to be protected now with Roseanne?
I
Like
mean,
with this new
protected.
production, how is it going to be protected? That way it's not stolen again.
Well, what's happening is high ups in the industry, when they get on board, it's like suddenly they're not nipping at your heels anymore. It's really the underlings that are employed to trash and smash and try to, naysay you. And when the uppers start to put you on a new level, where it's like, yeah, you've done this, and start to acquiesce and say, yeah, he's done this. And I'm not saying what Roseanne's been doing. I'm saying other in the industry. Then the minions are like dogs that have been whipped, backing off because they can't chew at your heels anymore. We had a very interesting guy. Like we had like all these people, I think you guys were on it, celebrating the news about Roseanne Barr, right? And then one guy showed up out of all the hundreds of people, and this guy named Patrick White shows up and just starts just like way out off base, just starts trashing, and it stood out among all the others. I'm like, what an idiot to come on and do this and put like some kind of video. And I'm like, what? And we're all celebrating here. So I actually went on Patrick White's site on his own personal page. Never did this before. And I actually went on there and said, were you not nursed as a child? Like I just leveled him on his own site, because he's way he's way out of his league, and he shouldn't be messing with the big boys and girls when he's some wannabe nobody. And it said he works at a craft store, and it's like, I'm just like, ooh, what schmuck are you? And it's like, not to feel like superior. I'm just saying you don't bite especially when it's already been proven. He's saying, like, you think you wrote the Matrix? I'm looking at it like, yeah, that's why we're celebrating. That's what Roseanne Barr vetted and everything. Who are you? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And funny thing, on their website, on their own home site, they have all tinfoil hats on. Like that stupid joke's being regurgitated among the minions that hack at you. Because I keep seeing the tinfoil hats on as if that's the funny joke. It's like Hollywood. They got no new material. And so these guys, I have pictures of different groups that have assailed me that are like minion local, what Sony calls D players, that are all thinking they're funny with tinfoil hats in their profile pictures. I'm like,
Oh,
God, you don't even have a clever bone in your body when it comes to trying to be funny. So I just leveled them back and then cut them
yeah,
off.
thank you, Tom. I just feel like Chad, for example, we were talking about the woke community and how like the woke, really it's the wannabe woke, feeds off the people that are really, really woke. And it could be, okay, I'll give you an example of this new generation. I won't say who, but someone in that I know, that are maybe 24, 25. He keeps speaking. He tries to speak what he wants to say, and then he catches himself, and it has to be like very proper to not offend anyone. And I'm like,
Mm.
okay, so it kind of sounds like the PC thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
Remember in the 90s, everybody's like, oh, that's not politically correct. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't say the word retarded anymore because they're offended. And I'm like, we're not talking about offending those that are in that need, because back in the day, we used to joke about the short bus and that word and just things like that. Okay. And
Yeah. Yeah.
nowadays, these new kids are, and even some adults, you don't call them that. You call them they, you call them us. It's like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
It just
Once they can,
feels like
yeah.
we went through another portal, like
Once they control your language and your expression, then you are limited. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're commanding our language, and how we express ourselves. And then they're calling it misinformation. And they're doing all this stuff. It's like, this is a stupid game. Like, it's like bad parents raising children who are smart. And we know what's going on. And we see through our, messed up parents in this scenario. It's like, yeah, we
Okay.
can see.
Can I say that I'm really bothered this week just because, yes, we can, but they cannot. You understand? Like they cannot see through it. They cannot listen to it. They don't have the intelligence, in my opinion. That's why we were talking about the word retard. I'm like, they think they're smarter than us. I'm like, they're always constantly trying to control me, control their lives, control the life around me. And it's for some reason, there's always one in the family. It's almost like there's just like two people that come together, and one of them is this type of personality. And it's the personality with zero common sense, zero common sense. They'll
Yeah.
be like a nervous wreck in manic mommy mode because they got a new kitty. And you'll say, excuse me, but the kitty's going to sense your nervousness. And they'll look at you like you're the dumbest thing on the world and say,
Right.
how the cat, I literally just had this happen. How would the cat sense my nervousness? And my sister said, hey, if this is really the way you feel about animals, you got a lot to learn. And they're like, excuse me, don't, they raised their family through petri dishes. Everything is scientific. Their gods are academia. And I mean, I'm not just talking, I'm talking about half of our population or something.
Right.
Anybody in academia, I don't have the photographic memory, so I'm not going to compete with them. But there's something to say about discernment, intuition, common sense, and these are things they do not contain. They do not understand. They can't feel without themselves. They can't feel other people. Everything is based on information, and I put them on the level of a retard compared to me because they can't even hear my conversation.
Right.
They can't even do the research. They could care less about you, Tom, because they don't know how to fucking sit their ass down and watch a damn TV show and listen to someone speak, and that pisses me off.
Right. It's like they react.
Yet they're going to have an opinion about what I'm doing.
Right. I hear you. They're going to just like, and there's always these knee-jerk reactions, where they go manic on you and it's somehow your fault.
Yep. Oh, and everything's your fault. And they're watching everything you do. It's like, I'm way different than you. I have to be outside. I have to be creating. And if you think you're going to be in a room when I'm creating, you're wrong. Because I'm not going to have some thing that thinks it's so much smarter than me.
I know.
With its opinion and its judgment. Oh, sure, it can go play the piano because it's been trained to do that. But can it pick up an instrument with no training and just create symphonies? No, I'm not doing that in front of them.
Right. No, that's good.
They don't want to hear anything that I do. These people don't care to listen to anything that I created because none of the upper people have taken notice in it. So why would they?
The competition element, the competition element always enters in, and it's always the thing of like who's better than who and who's getting more attention and who's more. It's just unbelievable. That's why I was so glad to get away from the family that I had, that I grew up with. But I'll show you. This is I took this picture today, and that's kind of what a kitty looks like when they feel that they can trust you. That's Mixie. Yeah. So she was looking at me today.
Tom, they were saying to me, okay, I would sit there with this cat on my chest. This is a rescue, right? I had a respiratory system. I was using a wet Kleenex in my